I got this impression that this man, who was rather older than I was at that time, I was 21, he was in his maybe early or even late 40s, I was almost compelled to ask him that you have lived in this country for such a long time, how come you can have such a soft heart? Now, this must be rather a strange question to ask someone that you have known for a total of a few hours. But his answer was even more strange, because he said, I don't know if I can explain it, but maybe I can show you. And he stood out there in my little room. There was only one room really in the cottage. He stood up there in my cottage and without any hesitation said the Islamic call to prayer, the adhan. And then he started saying his prayers. I realize now it must have been the morning prayers. Having talked through the night, this was time for the morning prayers. And as I was sitting there on my little kitchen, traditional Swedish kitchen settee, of a wooden settee, I was sitting there cross-legged in a corner of the settee, and he was now praying in front of me, showing me how to keep your heart soft in this harsh and cold world. But it was so powerful, it was overawing. Out of awe, I was not even able to watch. I had to lower my gaze. So I'm sitting there in the settee with my gaze lowered, and he's praying there in front of me. After praying, after his prayers, he sat down and did some meditation, you can call it, some dhikr, we call it in Islam, some remembrance of God. And I do not honestly remember now if it was during the prayers or after the prayers, during the remembrance, that it was like there was and this sounds almost a bit funny, but as there was a ray of light from the heavens straight into my heart, that there is only one God. Suddenly I just knew there is only one God. And I realized that this person, this man has what I'm looking after. You know, this is the thing, at least for me. So I decided there and then to follow him. He had mentioned through the night when we were talking that he was going to Pakistan. He had I think he used the term his guru, meaning his spiritual leader in Pakistan. We do not use the term guru in Islam, but to make me understand what he meant, I think he used that term. And I'm going to visit him, so if you dare, you can come with me. Not if you have time or if you can afford it or something as worldly as that, but if you have the courage, you can come with me. So I decided there and then I'm going to go with him to Pakistan. So within a week or 10 days, we got our passports and visas and everything together, and we went to Pakistan. But it was really this night somewhere very near midsummer in the north of Sweden that it happened to me. I can honestly say that in the evening I had never heard about Islam, and in the morning I was a Muslim. Already the same day he taught me the prayers, he taught me the ablutions in a very beautiful way, and that's the way it went. I went with him to Pakistan, spent my first Ramadan, my first fasting month in Pakistan, traveled with him to Morocco, spent 3 months in Morocco, and both with him and on my own traveled around Europe, visited a lot of places where Muslims live, and ended up after a couple of years as a student in a Muslim, what you call a theological school. I studied basically to become an imam. But the story of my conversion, or my falling into Islam as I prefer to call it, was this one night in the north of Sweden. So at the moment I'm working as the imam in Masjid Aisha in the city center of Stockholm, and I'm also working as a teacher of Islamic studies and Arabic language, among other things, in a Muslim adult education college or a community college also situated in Stockholm in Sweden.